Good morning, and welcome to WECH News. My name is Sean Hennessy. Today we are going to inform you about a severe weather report that happened on this day 4 years ago in Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. Now to Brandon on more insight on the tornado.
Okay, so on April 16, 2011, there was a famous outbreak of tornadoes in North Carolina. An amazing 9 supercell tornadoes had arrived on the scene and destroyed many cities towards the east of NC. The 8th and 9th tornadoes touched down in Roanoke Rapids, Halifax County, and moved across the Roanoke River. A few minutes after touching Northampton County, the tornado dissipated. As to how this tornado formed, Tanae will inform us about more.
When experiencing a tornado, there are places where you should go and where you should not go. If you're in a building, avoid windows and go to the lowest floor. In the car, get lower than the level of the roadway and avoid seeking shelter under bridges, which can create deadly traffic hazards while offering little protection against flying debris. In the open outdoors, seek shelter in a sturdy building if possible, and get as far away from trees as you can.
Severe weather, such as this tornado, can destroy homes and vehicles. It can also injure or kill people. Flying debris is the greatest danger from tornadoes. Brandon will tell us more about the damages.
Thanks, Sean. Didn't see you there. Okay, the North Carolina Department of Crime Control and Public Safety reported the damages amounted up to $1.2 million in Halifax. Numerous trees and structures collapsed, and power lines collapsed as well in the rapids. And NC highways were destroyed. Tall skyscrapers were in shambles, and there was debris floating everywhere. Tanae will tell us more about the impacts of the tornado.
The 9 tornadoes were produced by 4 supercell thunderstorms, with each producing at least 2 tornadoes. A defluent air pattern was noted across the Carolinas. This tells us that the air is being pushed outward, causing more air to be pushed upwards. At the surface, a cold front was analyzed extending across western North Carolina. A warm front extended west to east across southern North Carolina to the northeastern coast. A warm front extended west to east across southern North Carolina to the northeastern coast. North of the warm front, surface dew points were generally in the mid-upper 50s, with temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s. South of the front, dew points climbed into the lower to mid-60s. The regional composite radar showed some scattered light to moderate rain showers across North Carolina. The strong vertical wind shear converted the convection into developing updrafts, which pushed the fronts. The convection had intensified into a well-developed line of thunderstorms. Large vertical wind shear and strongly curved clockwise winds appeared and deemed them discrete supercells. The 8th tornado initially developed to the southeast of Lancaster, South Carolina, just after 1:15 p.m. The thunderstorm intensified as it moved into North Carolina and approached Waitsboro. The storm then became a supercell as it approached the Roanoke Rapids. This tornado had also affected eastern NC. This caused more damage than the one from April 11th. The dew points were 60 degrees and had surged well into eastern North Carolina. The low pressure center had drifted northeast into southern Kentucky, and the cold front had advanced into Alabama. At the Severe Local Storm Center, SELS issued Tornado Watch 56 that included almost all of South Carolina and central and eastern North Carolina. Another tornado had hit the Roanoke Rapids on March 28, 1984. This shows the movement of the tornado. As you can see, the winds are moving in a counterclockwise rotation. This tornado had also affected eastern NC. This caused more damage than the one from April 11th. The dew points were 60 degrees and had surged well into eastern North Carolina. The low pressure center had drifted northeast into southern Kentucky, and the cold front had advanced into Alabama. At the Severe Local Storm Center, SELS issued Tornado Watch 56 that included almost all of South Carolina and central and eastern North Carolina. By the time this tornado hit the rapids, SELS upgraded much of the southeast from a moderate risk to a high risk. 22 tornadoes formed into the next 3 hours as the mesolow tracked northeast along the surface boundary through eastern NC. And that's it for WECH News. Stay tuned for the weather. Welcome to WECH Weather Channel. Here is a model of the jet stream map. On the top we have a low pressure system, and on the bottom we have a high pressure system. The colder air is on the top, the warmer air is on the bottom, and the warmer air is going into the rapids. This satellite image shows us that the Roanoke Rapids are experiencing clear skies. This satellite shows us that there's going to be no rain here in the rapids. There's a cold front approaching the rapids, so expect cold weather and rain next week. Daytime heating is also playing a role. Temperature is increasing with height because the surface air is cooler and more dense than the air above it. The type of air mass at a location will determine the type of weather conditions the site experiences. So right now in the rapids, there's a warm air mass coming in, which is why this week we're experiencing warm weather. On Thursday, we're going to have a high of 60 and a low of 50. It's going to be partly cloudy with wind speeds at 6 knots going towards the northeast. On Friday, we will have a high of 71 and a low of 51. Mostly cloudy day with wind speeds at 2 knots going towards the north. On Saturday, we will have a high of 70 and a low of 53. Mostly cloudy, winds at 5 knots going towards the northeast. And that's it for the weather. Thank you for watching.